Can we please just remove this fascist regime from power and go back to the way things were?
Oh, honey, the America you knew from 2024 and earlier, it's gone. Funeral was months ago.
What do you mean?
If authoritarianism is successfully stopped, there are generally 4 main possible outcomes that have happened in history. And going back to how things were ain't one of them.
I'm scared to ask. What's the 4?
The most common? A pseudo-democracy.
What's that?
It'll look like democracy on the surface, but the authoritarian structures that were expanded under the previous regime attempt are kept largely intact, where the elites maintain control, and you get a heightened surveillance state with worsened imbalances of injustice and corruption, and even wider class divisions.
So like, I don't know, maybe like Putin's Russia?
It's probably the closest example. The one hope is that with unified, long-term, coordinated civic engagement, as in better coordinated than we have now, pseudo-democracies can be pushed into democratic recovery, where conditions improve to better than pre-authoritarian times.
But we don't have that level of coordinated, unified opposition now?
Coordinated? Unified? Organized? Not even close.
So what's second most likely?
Another authoritarian faction seizes power, likely those who are billionaire-backed or a billionaire themselves. It can also be a military leader who steps into the power vacuum to restore order.
Give me an example.
Well, first it's important to understand that this often happens with a brief, weak democratic reform period. So, in 1918 Germany, the imperial monarchy fell, replaced by the Weimar Republic, which governed until 1933. Many other more modern examples are a bit more messy because they often have U.S. military or CIA meddling, like Iraq going from Hussein, which the U.S. helped put in power in the first place, to a failed democracy to armed factionalism. But that takes us into the third most likely outcome.
Factionalism, is that like civil war or?
I'd call this outcome fragmentation. It's pretty significantly less historically common than the first two, and there's numerous ways this can play out. Factionalism, civil war, balkanization.
What's that?
Basically, you'd have, say, California and the West Coast nation, Florida and the Southeast nation, New York and the Northeast nation, etc. And in some of the more purple areas, likely civil wars and armed factionalism fighting for control.
That's awful. And I'm still kind of waiting for a positive possible outcome?
By far, the rarest historical outcome is total reform to a stable democracy.
You're saying that in order to fully recover from this and have a chance at not ending up having another authoritarian takeover in the near future, we basically have to start over? Like, new constitution? Laws? Institutions? The works?
Historically speaking, it requires strong, unified opposition to authoritarianism, which we don't have. We have fragmented, infighting opposition.
So are we doomed?
If we don't rally around unified ideals of true democracy and human rights for all, with a commitment to hold those in power accountable, including democratic leaders and the wealthy, then likely so. So are you willing to get involved, both locally and nationally, to make sure we have a true democracy? The time to act is now.